Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about a key update on F1 Overtaking, an FIA update and Mercedes' response to that, as well as what's going on with Alpine. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram and X at James's Pit Lane. I'll leave links in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So let's start with Alpine, and I wanted to do an update on them because I'm pretty shocked as to where they are. I mean, in 2025 they finished at the bottom of the standings, but they put a lot of focus into 2026, and on top of that they've now got a Mercedes power unit in the back of that car, and I really thought Alpine would be in a strong position in 2026, perhaps leading the midfield. But in qualifying, drivers Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto failed to make it out of Q2, and while Gasly did manage to finish 10th in the race, meaning he got 1 point, the team is aware that it's not fulfilling its potential right now, and the main headache it's facing is a high-speed handling issue, which is costing it lap time, especially in qualifying. Basically, Alpine Managing Director Steve Nielsen said the first evidence of the problem had appeared in pre-season testing and work had long been underway to resolve it, with him saying, as quoted by the race, "We have high-speed understeer. We saw some of that in Bahrain testing, but the characteristics of this circuit, Albert Park, means there's more high speed, so that problem becomes larger. We do understand it. We have got parts coming and hopefully we'll fix it, but they won't be on the car in China. So it's an injury we're carrying at the moment that I wish we weren't, but I think we know how to get up to it." Now, the cause of the understeer has not been revealed, however, because it is an understeer issue, perhaps it could be something to do with a front wing weakness. And Nielsen hoped that the upgrades being worked on will be ready for the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka later this month, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But let's move on to F1 Overtaking. Now, as we know, battery management in 2026 is crucial. I mean, the power units this year are much more energy starved, with the batteries depleting a lot faster. I mean, 1 second you have it, the next you don't. And this actually contributed to the season opening Australian Grand Prix delivering plenty of overtakes, almost 3 times as many as last year's race, according to F1 statistics. However, there were complaints that these moves were too artificial, with many drivers having spoken about battery management being too dominant a factor in performance, which means they're having to drive in counterintuitive ways that few of them seem to enjoy. So yeah, overtakes are having to be a lot more calculated because of battery management. But interestingly, it's also been revealed by Audi driver Gabriele Bortoleto that he accidentally overtook several cars in the Australian Grand Prix because of substantial closing speeds. Basically, Bortoleto started the race in 10th and spent the race in the thick of the midfield battle, putting him in a strong position to offer his views on the 2026 cars, with Bortoleto saying, as quoted by motorsport.com, "It was very nice, I must say, but a lot of things to be learned still. I made overtakes, but I didn't want to make, by mistake, because I had so much energy and the other car was clipping like crazy, but you need to think a lot when you're racing. Last year, everything was much more predictable, so as soon as you make an overtake, it was done, and now you make an overtake, you need to calculate the next 3 straights, because maybe the guy will overtake you back, then you need to overtake him back in the other one, and it keeps going like that until everyone is in the same state of energy. I wish I could give you more than this, but I'm still a bit confused with the regulations, and I'm getting to know them better while we live them." Now, recently I did a video on measures that could be introduced to improve the battery management situation as early as the Japanese Grand Prix, and if you want to find out more about that, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. And now the FIA single-seater director Nicolas Tombazis has spoken more about this, with him saying, as quoted by the race, "The team's unanimous position was that we should stick to the current arrangements for the first few races and to review the matter when we have a bit more data. Our intention is after China to be reviewing the energy management situation. We have a few aces up our sleeve on that, which we didn't want to introduce ahead of the first race as a knee-jerk reaction, and which we will review with the teams after China." Now, in terms of Mercedes, they dominated the Australian Grand Prix with a 1-2, finishing multiple seconds ahead of Ferrari. So what's their view on the rules? Well, even Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff accepts that tweaks may be necessary, but he thought the driving force for alterations should be based on what fans like and not just that competitors are unhappy. With Wolff saying, as quoted by The Race, "I didn't hear any of the drivers speaking particularly good of the last cars and saying it was the best car, so we tend to be very nostalgic in looking at past events. But clearly, we are all stakeholders of the sport. We need to have a great spectacle, the best cars in the world and the best drivers, and being exciting for the fans. That's why we need to look at the products. One perspective is the view of the drivers, which is an important perspective. Stefano Domenicali would say that the single matrix that matters to him is whether the fans like it. That's what we need to look at. If it needs to be tweaked, if we need to adjust, I think we have the flexibility in Formula One to always take those decisions." But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.